his just as bad as Don Jr.'s?
You can go the line like he does,
Mm-hmm.
or you can just leave it natural like I do. But he's got the undercarriage correct.
Yeah.
Here, wait.
Joe Biden gave China a sweetheart trade deal that destroyed even more good American middle-class manufacturing jobs.
If you're in suburban Ohio, you are not a hillbilly. Brad, my man, Brad. Brad, did you get a link? You can come on if you want, man. You got to have a decent camera and a decent audio, but you can come on if you want.
What's he saying most of all? I can't really hear him.
Oh.
What the hell are they saying?
Joe must go.
Jeez.
Yeah. Look at this trash. Look at this trash. Trash, trash. Sorry, that's what white trash looks like. That's what it looks like, America. Yes, they're human beings.
A real
yes,
estate
they're
developer
human
from
beings.
New York
yes,
City
they've got families.
by the name
yes,
of
they've
Donald
got
J.
bills to pay. Yes, they've got problems just like the rest of us. They are standing in the way. They are in the way. Look at these people. You think this woman's going to listen to you? You think any of these people here? And you know how many people watching this who are watching me, and my response to this trash is that, oh, you're being too harsh.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. They're just different, man. They're just different than you. You're just not accepting them. You're being a hypocrite because you're all about accepting people that are different from you. Well, let me tell you something, my man. I know this stock. I've been around it. I've worked next to it. I've lived next to it. I've studied it. I went to school next to it. I know it. And the culture is more important than the individual when it comes to conservative America because the conservative culture is killing America. And this guy is the next face of it.
Yeah, these are grown-ass adults. Like, we should stop making excuses for them for crying out fucking loud.
Agree. And somehow,
this guy's so
a
unappealing.
real estate developer from New York City by the name of Donald J. Trump was right on all of these issues while Biden was wrong.
Looks like a 39-year-old toddler. Oh, wait, he is.
President Trump knew even then that we needed leaders who would put America first.
It's all the same talking points. Like, there's no, all it is consistent repetition
now, thanks to
of
these
the same.
Literally, I haven't heard any fucking thing new.
Politicians in Washington gave us. Our country was flooded with cheap Chinese goods, with cheap foreign labor, and in the decades to come, deadly Chinese fentanyl. Joe Biden screwed up, and my community paid the price.
Your community hates you, from what I understand.
Despite the closing factories and the growing addiction in towns like mine, in my life, I had a guardian angel by my side.
A guardian angel.
She
My
was
mother
an
used
old
to tell me
woman who
that.
could barely walk, but she was tough as nails. I called her Mamaw, the name we hillbillies gave to our grandmothers.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Mamaw raised me as her own, Mamaw raised me as my mother struggled with addiction. Mamaw was in so many ways a woman of contradiction. She loved the Lord, ladies and gentlemen. She was a woman of very deep Christian faith.
Oh, yes, let's clap for Jesus,
that
you
sounds
motherfuckers.
so
How dare you invoke... Dude, how dare you invoke Christ in this political context, you motherfucker? The Democrats and the left don't do nearly enough to call out the hypocrisy. Yeah. It's an opportunity to just belittle them because they are intellectually inferior. I'm sorry. You don't think for yourself.
Statistically,
you are a lemming.
No, according to studies, they are actually generally
limited. Well, you know that they're limited thinkers because their resistance to change is their disposition. So if you're resistant to change, you are by definition a limited thinker.
Literally,
because thinking is all about change.
That's the fundamental core of it. Like that's kind of like the root of the issue because like cognitively, like lower cognition is linked to conservative thinking.
Resistance to change in a world that is defined by change is not only stupid, it is stubborn, and it is sociopathic, as we are seeing.
Yep.
But she also loved the F word.
Oh, naughty.
I'm not kidding. She could make a sailor blush. I'm not kidding. She could make a sailor blush.
Wonder
Classic.
what
Classic.
She
F
once
word he's
told
Such a
referring
me
cute
to.
moment.
when she found out that I was spending too much time with a local kid who was known for dealing drugs, that if I ever hung out with that kid again, she would run him over with her car.
That's how you get things done in Middleton, Ohio.
That's true.
That's
Yeah.
She said, JD, no one will ever find out about it.
Oh my god, dude. That, well,
Fear.
that's, oh,
Yeah,
that's
look
so.
at it, see?
That's so wholesome.
Sometimes you just gotta whoop
vehicular
some ass.
Yeah, vehicular manslaughter. That's adorable. Oh,
Sometimes
that's
you just gotta
wholesome.
kill someone, dude.
Yeah, exactly. Wholesome
Sometimes
family
you just gotta
values.
kill someone and make
Yeah,
a
dude,
point. It's
like,
about winning.
someone-
It's either kill or be killed.
Someone's
That's
trying
how
to
they
deal
frame
drugs to make money and get by. Fucking vehicular manslaughter, dude, and then hide the body. Fucking who cares, right?
Just
So
the
fu-
basic
this is
premise
so funny.
of using a threat. Just the basic premise of using a threat to get your child to adjust their behavior is fundamentally wrong.
Big
Just that
time.
basic
Bi-
premise.
Like, yeah, that is the fucking fun. Like that is another fundamental problem with conservative thinking. Why don't you explain to your fucking child the issue, or at least develop an understanding? Why is this kid selling drugs? Why is your kid hanging out with them? Why don't we get to the root of the issue rather than, oh, I don't understand it. Let's fucking erase it from existence so I don't have to fucking deal with it or think too hard about it or have to explain to it or teach a lesson, for crying out loud. God, these people are fucking awful. God damn it, dude.
Well, things worked out for me. After 9/11, I did what thousands of other young men my age did in that time.
Join the
of
military.
soaring patriotism and love of country.
So he's got the Ivy League JD and he's got the military credibility too. That's pretty. That's what Trump liked about him. But Trump liked most about him is that there's no way this guy is going to outshine Trump. That was the most important criteria for Trump's selection of vice president.
Yeah, that,
enlisted
and also
in the
he'll do
United
whatever he
States Marines.
says.
Patriotism and love of country. I enlisted in the United States Marines. Semper Fi to my fellow Marines.
Oh, you're so tough.
Now, I left the Marines after 4 years and went to the Ohio State University.
Just lost Michigan.
Come on, come on. We've had enough political violence. Let's.
Yeah, see, that was
Now,
Michigan
after
getting all
Ohio
pissed
State, I
off.
went to Yale Law School where I met my beautiful wife. And then I started businesses to create jobs in the kind of places that I grew up in. Now, my work taught me that there is still so much talent and grit in the American heartland. There really is. But for these places to thrive, my friends, we need a leader who fights for the people who built this country.
Oh, man, does he love to fight.
We need a leader who's not in the pocket of big business, but answers to the working man, union and non-union alike.
Oh, really now?
A leader who won't sell out to multinational corporations, but will stand up for American companies and American industry. A leader who rejects Joe Biden and Kamala Harris's Green New scam and fights to bring back our great American factories.
Green New
We need
scam that never
President
came to
Donald J.
fruition, that
Trump.
never actually came to pass, that
Dude,
was
they
never
didn't-
actually
yeah,
passed
I
under
mean, what are you
legislation.
talking
Why are you still harping away on it, dude? Like, fucking all these years later, and nothing ever came of the Green New Deal. And it's like, do you understand like what it's named after to begin with? If you're invoking like a jobs program, that is the fucking place to start. That is the fucking future. Instead of like relying on foreign oil and whatnot, why not start an initiative that creates a shitload of clean jobs, and also not only like does it help the climate, it
Grows the economy and modernize the
big,
economy.
big
yes.
time. Modernize the fucking economy. But I mean, it's just a go-to knee-jerk talking point. Yeah. Honestly,
But
since
it hasn't been used in a long time. They haven't mentioned the Green New Deal in a long time
Yeah. I mean, you'll still
because
have
it hasn't been an issue. It hasn't been in the news.
right. You'll
I
still
mean,
have
because Biden didn't do the Green New Deal. And by the way, the Green New Deal, if you ever actually perused the document and like what
That
they
was
proposed,
proposed, yeah.
very, very flawed piece of legislation. Like way too big.
Yeah.
Like it was just trying to do too much.
No, of
trying
course.
to do too much.
Yeah, of course. Like there are aspects of it like that could be like their own bills and whatnot. Since we're behind in the live stream, we can actually like speed it up like 125 or 115.
Can we?
Um,
no, yes.
I think you can since you are
I
behind.
was skipping
yeah.
in between. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
I can still fast forward in between applauses.
Yeah.
Some people tell me I've lived the American dream, and of course they're right, and I'm so grateful for it. But the American dream that always counted most was not starting a business, or becoming a senator, or even being here with you fine people, though it's pretty awesome. My most important American dream was becoming a good husband and a good dad, of being able to give.
You know what's crazy, Dieter? This guy's a year younger than
Yeah.
you are.
I wanted to give my kids the
I
things
know.
that I didn't have when I was growing up.
Believe
and
me, I
that's
know.
the accomplishment that I'm proudest of. That tonight, I'm joined by my beautiful wife, Usha, an incredible lawyer and a better mom, and our three beautiful kids, Ewan, who's 7, Vivek, who's 4, and Mirabelle, who's 2. Now, they're back at the hotel, and kids, if you're watching, Daddy loves you very much, but get your butts in bed. 10
Oh,
o'clock.
so cute. So cute.
I'm actually
my
like
friends,
this is
things
like
did not
just
work out well
a
for a lot of
little
kids in America.
side point here,
Every
but
now and then, I will get a call from a relative back
I
home
wonder
who
what
asks, "Did you know
Republican
so-and-so?"
voters are going to think
And I'll
about
remember
the
a face
fact
from
that
your-
this guy's wife isn't white. Wonder how much that's
yeah,
going
I
to
know.
affect.
They've brought that on. All right, so upon special request, I'm going to bring in my boy Brad Wilson, who is
Oh,
a
boy.
loyal viewer of Left Coast Live. Brad, how are you, man? Can you hear us loud and clear?
Yes. Can you hear me loud and clear?
Oh, very
we can,
much so.
we can. Will you
Yeah.
enjoy? I want to explain to everybody who you are, but I want to do it after the speech. Would you mind just doing rolling commentary with the speech while we're in it?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm your biggest and only fan.
Sweet. Happy to
I know,
hear it.
right? My live streams don't do very well. My videos and shorts do okay, but not my live streams.
Yeah, let's do
Hold
it.
on.
From years ago, and then I'll hear they died of an overdose. As always, America's ruling class wrote the checks. Communities like mine paid the price. For decades, that divide between the few with their power and comfort in Washington and the rest of us only widened. From Iraq to Afghanistan, from the financial crisis to the Great Recession, from open borders to stagnating wages, the people who govern this country have failed and failed again. This is, of course, until a guy named Donald J. Trump came along. President Trump represents America's last best hope to restore what, if lost, may never be found again. A country where a working class boy born far from the halls of power can stand on this stage as the next vice president of the United States of America.
It's so
No, it's where privilege comes in.
Impressive.
Like, it's so
But
dishonest.
Yale grad who
Yeah, that's what I was saying in the text
My-
chat.
my fellow
If you're
Americans,
from
here is-
suburban Ohio, you're not a hillbilly.
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
you're just
like, come
Midwestern
on.
trash,
Yeah.
which is fine. There's different kinds of trash in America. That's what a lot of people who have like only lived in urban and suburban areas don't understand is there's different kinds of trash in America. Like lots of different kinds.
Yeah.
This stage and watching at home, this moment is not about me, it's about all of us. It's about who we're fighting for. It's about the auto worker in Michigan wondering why out-of-touch politicians are destroying their jobs. It's about the factory worker in Wisconsin who makes things with their hands and is proud of American craftsmanship.
I'm for good things.
It's about the
I'm
energy
against
worker in
bad
Pennsylvania
things.
and Ohio who doesn't understand why Joe Biden is willing to buy energy from tin-pot dictators across the world when he could buy it from his own citizens right here in our own country.
Yeah, Biden's been doing that. Like the CHIPS Act, that created a shitload of jobs. We're not relying on China for component parts and semi-metals or whatever the fuck to make computer chips and GPUs. Like Nvidia's like
guys
the
are great,
biggest
Brad.
company in the world right now, and they're largely based in America.
Brad, do you love this guy's smile? Because he loves his smile. Look at this guy.
No, I don't
Oh,
love
look
it.
at this guy. He's such
I don't blame
he's
you.
such a
But-
chuckler.
You know, I
He's
would
a
say that
chuckler,
the CHIPS
Brad.
Act is a big giveaway to uh, corporate tech.
Yes.
You know, in a
Yes,
bad
but-
way.
Yes, yes. It was filtered. It was definitely geared towards certain entities more than others, and wasn't as fair as it should have or could have been, for sure.
Yeah, and of course, the government always is going to pick winners and losers, but this was like a really brutal case of that.
Well, we should do a little bit of. We'll say. I want to hear more about that, Brad. Bookmark that for sure.
Oh yeah. Skip that chat because we have to
It's
hear
about our
JD,
movement
of course.
No, no.
And it's about, our movement is about single moms like mine, who struggled with money and addiction, but never gave up. And I'm proud to say that tonight my mom is here. 10 years, clean and sober. I love you, Mom.
God, they're still going. That's like over a minute and a half.
Thinking.
Jeez, Mom.
It'll
Jeez.
be 10 years officially in January of 2025. And if President Trump's okay with it, let's have the celebration in the White House.
Oh, it's disgusting. All these people
Yeah.
are going to have so much power.
Yeah,
All
it's
these
gonna be
people
the
are gonna
fi-
have so
it's-
much
it's,
power.
It's literally going to be the final
Yeah.
election of
And our
America
movement,
if Trump wins.
ladies and gentlemen, it's about grandparents all across
Yeah,
this
we're
country
witnessing
who
the
are living
new
on social
government,
security.
basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is what it's going to be like because he's, Trump's going to get tired of it. I was thinking, like, is Trump going to try and stay in office? And I don't think so because I think he's going to be really old by the time the end of his second term.
Here's what it comes down to. Like, Trump got what he wanted. Like, he basically has no reason to fucking run anymore because, like, he got presidential immunity handed to him by the Supreme Court. He doesn't have to worry about the shit that he did while he was in office because it was official acts and shit. And so with all this shit tied up in court for
Yeah.
forever, like, he could just ride like the rest of his life not having to pursue the presidency because, like, what exactly does he need it for? Just like to exercise vengeance and whatnot. He doesn't give a fuck. He would rather fucking just golf and just fuck off. Like, he has immunity. He doesn't need to be held accountable for anything anymore. Like, even he was surprised. By
He
the
could just
ruling.
not be the president and just take pot shots for the next 4 years and say, "Oh,
Yeah.
I won anyway." Blah blah blah. You know,
Literally.
and he would probably enjoy that more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think he's
exactly.
got the right guy right here to hand it off to, or he'll hand it off to some scrum with like a huge prime. We'll find out in 4 years because unless we'll talk about it more when we're done here, Brad. But unless they replace Biden, Trump's going to win.
Social Security and raising grandchildren they didn't expect to raise. And while we're on the topic of grandparents, let me tell you another mammal story. Now, my mammal died shortly before I left for Iraq in 2005. And when we went through things, we found 19 loaded handguns. They were
Jesus Christ. 19 loaded handguns? Look at they're chanting. They're going to go back to
Now,
175.
the thing is, they were stashed all over her house, under her bed, in her closet, in the silverware drawer. And we wondered what was going on, and it occurred to us that towards the end of her life, Mammal couldn't get
She's a
around.
gun nut is what's going on. It's not
Right.
complicated.
I
She's
wish I had a
fucking
loaded handgun
gun
in
nut.
my silverware drawer.
Dude, it's all about that power, man. Do the empathetic arithmetic. What is it about? Their life is miserable and they're scared to death and they want power and they want security and they think just holding that gun gives it to them. What they don't realize is it makes their home more dangerous unless they're taking very good care of it and putting it in a fucking lockbox and shit. But
Yeah.
instead, he's got it. He's got a household. He grew up in a household where there were guns in fucking drawers in the kitchen. Jesus
Yeah,
Christ.
that's how you end up with Thomas Matthew Crooks and
Around so well.
fucking Trump's ear being taken off.
Yeah, we were talking earlier, Brad. I don't know if you were listening at the beginning, but how they should have really transformed this assassination attempt on Trump into a gun rights issue.
Yeah, the
and,
Democrats.
That obvious, and maybe they will, but it's too late right now. They've lost the sizzle opportunity.
Yeah.
So well. And so this frail old woman made sure that no matter where she was within arm's length of whatever she needed to protect her family. That's who we fight for. That's American spirit.
Guns. So they brought him up there to make a nod to the gun people.
Now, Joe Biden has been a
Interesting.
politician in Washington for longer than I've been alive. 39 years old. Kamala Harris is not much further behind. For half a century, he's been the champion of every major policy initiative to make America weaker and poorer. And in 4 short years, Donald Trump reversed decades of betrayals inflicted by Joe Biden and the rest of the corrupt Washington insiders.
This is a room full
He
of
created the
corrupt
greatest
Washington
economy in history for
insiders.
workers. It really was amazing. There's this chart that shows worker wages, and they stagnated for pretty much my entire life until President Donald J. Trump came along. Workers' wages went through the roof.
That's not true.
That's not true.
That's not even true.
And just
Not at
imagine
all.
what he's going to do when we give him 4 more years.
In fact, by the end of Trump's
just
term,
all-
they went down.
Months ago, I heard some young family member observe that their parents' generation, the baby boomers, could afford to buy a home when they first entered the workforce. But I don't know this person observed if I'll ever be able to afford a home.
That's right.
The absurd cost of housing is the result of so many failures, and it reveals so much about what's broken in Washington.
So many conservative failures since 1980. Let's be serious. Wealth
Yep.
concentration, income inequality.
Yep.
I can tell you exactly how it happened. Wall Street barons crashed the economy, and American builders went out of business. As tradesmen scrambled for jobs, houses stopped being built. The lack of good jobs, of course, led to stagnant wages. And then the Democrats flooded this country with millions of illegal aliens.
Oh my
xenophobia,
God,
weird.
damn it, dude! It's
So citizens have to
always
compete with
the
people who shouldn't even be here for precious housing.
go-to scapegoat. Like,
So what's he trying? What's he trying to say? So he's saying that the immigrants came in and made it more competitive to buy a home, and so prices went up because more people were looking to buy homes. That's his point.
Yeah.
No, his
not-
point is that
not-
immigrants drove down wages by being
Okay, so people
themselves,
couldn't
like,
people couldn't make
even
as much money.
higher.
People couldn't make as
Yes.
much money because the labor market was
Oh.
saturated with illegal immigrants. Okay.
Right. It's not that corporations and
citizens have
hedge
to
fund
compete with
managers
people
are
who
buying
shouldn't
up all the
even be here
properties
for
and
precious
shit and
housing.
driving up prices and jacking up and treating real
Joe Biden's
estate
inflation crisis, my
as a fucking casino.
Yeah, consolidation.
Yeah, like a fucking just an endless betting match, no, it's the powerless fucking immigrants
It's really
crossing the
enfor-
border. God damn it, these idiots.
Scapegoat politics, man. Scapegoat politics. It
Yep.
works.
Yep.
ability crisis.
Yeah, that's
Many of the people that I
exactly
grew
what
up
he's
with
doing.
Yeah.
Can't afford to pay more for groceries, more for gas, more for rent, and that's exactly what Joe
Kitchen
Biden's
table
economy has given.
issues. Don't you just love that phrase, Brad? Kitchen table issues. It's a good one, isn't it? The vernacular of political analysis.
So prices soared, dreams were shattered, and China and the cartel sent fentanyl across the border, adding addiction to the heartache. But ladies and gentlemen, that is not the end of our story. We've heard about villains and their victims. I've talked a lot about that, but let me tell you about the future. President Trump's vision is so simple and yet so powerful. We're done, ladies and gentlemen, catering to Wall Street. We'll commit to the working man.
Oh, is that right? He's on the record. He's on the record as saying that. Okay.
We're done importing foreign labor. We're going to fight for American citizens and their good jobs and their good wages.
Yeah, let me just say real quick. I mean, I find it remarkably absurd that he, in one breath, goes after the corruption of Washington insiders, and then immediately after blames skyrocketing housing prices on illegal immigrants who have no power. It's like, come on.
Well, that's the point about like being a scapegoat is you pick out. It's like the lions, the lionesses hunting, or
Yeah.
the cheetahs hunting the wildebeests, and they pick off the weakest one. Same thing with scapegoating. You just pick off the least powerful. And the immigrants don't seem to really have a voice.
Just
I don't
the immediate
see
contradiction.
figures, and it's an interesting question. Who are the great public figures that constitute the voice for immigrants in America? I can't think of any.
But there's also there's an interesting aspect because yes, you're right that they're scapegoating the immigrants in this, or JD is scapegoating immigrants in this speech. But at the same time, on the Dem side, they tout the immigrants as like economically beneficial. So it's like the Dems say the immigrants are like almost saviors of, say, like
Economy.
a lack of birth rate, and then the R's here at the RNC say that the immigrants are actually the opposite of that. They're depressing the economy. It's like
Yeah.
I'm not sure if
it's a-
Dems. I'm not sure if Dems are selling that message, Brad, because it seems to me like we've talked about it before, Stat Pat and I. if there's any big issue Democrats have been willing to cave on since Biden became president, it was the southern
yeah,
border. So
they've changed big time.
right.
But
So that what you're
I guess
saying is right.
I'm almost comparing it to their 2020 position, and they've gone hard right. The Dems have gone hard
Yes.
right on immigration
no, they
since
have just
2020.
decided- they
The
have
last
just
4 years have
decided
just
that-
been like, we're just going to do Donald Trump's whole agenda.
You're right. Yeah, same policies and everything. Not much
Yeah,
movement.
same old stuff.
Like, yeah,
Well, that's what's so frustrating about our group of friends that Brad and I are part of is like people are trying to say Biden's far left on immigration. It's like, did you take the most superficial commentary when that bill came out? Because it gave Republicans everything that they wanted. And
Yeah.
No, I was
And
literally
they
about to
just
mention
let
that
them
too. Like when Chuck Schumer and the leaders of the Democratic Party and whatnot played chicken with the Republicans by putting forward a bill that literally would have given them everything they wanted on the border and whatnot, and then like they put it for a vote, or actually no, they didn't. Well, I think they did put it for a vote, and then Trump got in touch with all of them and be like, "Hey, no, vote against this bill. Like we don't want this," even though it gives them everything they want. Trump wanted to use immigration and whatnot as a scapegoat issue,
Right.
so we can harp away.
Yes.
Like we heard in the fucking debate.
they didn't
Like
want to give Biden a win.
12
They didn't wanna give Biden a
12
win.
billion immigrants are coming for Ohio and Wisconsin. You need to be afraid. Everybody be scared. It's like it shows.
Same
it
playbook.
shows.
Same playbook.
Yep.
Well, and
We're
that
done buying energy
whole
from countries that-
controversy was a way to like escalate executive power, because one of the
Yes.
one of the reasons why the Republicans said that they didn't support it was because they said that it didn't need to be in a bill, that Biden had the presidential authority to just basically do all of it just through executive actions. And he said, "Oh, no, you have to put the bill on my desk and then I'll do it." And then when the Republicans shot it down, he still basically did do it.
Yeah.
Like he kind of
Yeah.
proved them right, which is so pathetic of the Dems.
Right.
Yes.
And it's even more true now that like basically like if you do an official act and you're the president, you're immune from whatever consequences because it's an official act.
Yeah.
So if it gets challenged in court or whatever, if it's deemed unlawful or unconstitutional or violates what is it, the Fourth Amendment, the unlawful
but
cruel and
He was
unusual
now
punishment
doing
or
it
whatever.
within the official capacity of being president, so you can't touch him. So it's all good.
God, yeah, everything's so great.
Yeah.
All right.
Thanks, the courts.
Yeah, God.
All right. I need to go check on the dogs, so let this roll for a minute.
Countries that hate us, we're going to get it right here from American workers in Pennsylvania, in Ohio, and across the country. We're done sacrificing supply chains to unlimited global trade, and we're going to stamp more and more products with that beautiful label, Made in the USA.
Yeah, who's done more for that? Trump or Biden? I think the answer's clear. like more jobs are outsourced under Trump than Biden. Biden brought so many of those
We're going to
jobs
build
back.
factories again, put people to work making real products for American families made with the hands of American workers. Together, we will protect the wages of American workers and stop the Chinese Communist Party from building their middle class on the backs of American citizens.
We do that to their working class. Like, how many products are made in China? Like, give me a break, dude.
Together, we will make sure our allies share in the burden of securing world peace. No more free rides for nations that betray the generosity of the American taxpayer. Together, we will send our kids to war only when we must. But as President Trump showed with the elimination of ISIS and so much more, when we punch, we're going to punch hard.
ISIS wasn't actually eliminated, though, dude. Like they just
Together,
bombed.
we will put the citizens of
They
America
just bombed
first,
Russia
whatever the color
earlier
of their
this
skin.
year.
We will, in short,
Trump didn't fucking eliminate ISIS. Oh,
make
puppy.
America great again. You know, one of the things that you hear people say sometimes is that America is an idea. And to be clear, America was indeed founded on brilliant ideas like the rule of
that's
law
what
and
Vivek
religious liberty,
says.
things written into
Yeah.
the
He's
fabric
now
of our
shitting on
Constitution and our
Vivek.
nation. But America
What does he say?
You're shitting on
He just
Vivek.
said
and religious liberty, things written
Vivek's
into the
whole thesis in his speech yesterday, right, was that America is an idea, it's a principle. That's like his core concept. And JD, he is, his
Borrowing from
response to that is that America is not a concept. It's a group of people. It's a land, like that's his,
Yeah.
JD says it's blood and soil. Vivek says it's a principle and an idea that that's like one of the underlying themes of the RNC that's been playing out in all of these speeches. People referring to America either as an idea or as a group of people.
That's them trying to be creative.
that
That's
live
what
in a
happens
place.
when that's what happens when conservatives try to be creative. Is they come up with some kind of false framing, and they're like, "Is America an idea or is it land and soil?" Well, I mean, what the hell are you talking? What does that even mean? Like, of course it's land and soil, and then you've got the government, and then you've got the citizens, and it gets a lot more complicated than that. That's just them trying to sound smart with some sort of
not to-
insightful simplification that doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah, not to mention the.
But they do have their different categories. Like JD and Vivek hate each other, and they're clearly engaged in a debate over, like, they're fighting over the levers of the Republican Party.
Terminology.
And so,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what he's taking a shot at with that statement that he just made, where he said,
and not to mention, like,
where
they're all,
he's
all of them,
repudiating the idea of America.
yeah, all of them are like just fucking like just going back and forth, and like they're constantly harping away at basically twisting and turning what the founders' intentions were, like what exactly their words were, just to fit their mold, their mold, their agenda. Like, this is what we were actually founded on. Like, they'll twist and turn like the actual like ideas that brought this country like to fruition, the Constitution and whatnot, just to like fit their own rhetoric, and it's been that way for God knows how many fucking years with this political fucking party. You go ahead.
Framers in the frame. Yeah, just
Hell yeah.
To be clear, America was indeed founded on brilliant ideas like the rule of law and religious liberty, things written into the fabric of our Constitution and our nation. But America is not just an idea. It is a group of people with a shared history
Here we
and
go.
a common future. It is, in short, a nation. Now, it is part of that tradition, of course, that we welcome newcomers. But when we allow newcomers into our American family,
back
we allow
to
them
this.
on our terms.
More of the same issue. The same issue, sliced and diced 20 different fucking ways.
Literally.
That's the way we preserve the continuity of this project from 250 years past to hopefully 250 years in the future.
It's like it's the reason why they have 200
And
iterations
let
of
me
the
illustrate
same
this with a
exact
story, if I may. I'm,
jokes.
of course, married to the daughter
Yeah, well, they're not funny people.
of South Asian immigrants to this country. And let me illustrate
But
this
wait
with a
till
story,
we
if I may.
watch
I'm,
the
of course,
DNC.
Oh, yeah, that's
that'll
gonna be
fun.
For its
married to the
jokes.
daughter of South Asian immigrants to this country. Incredible people. People who genuinely
Well, at least they're
illustrate
going to bring on some professional joke tellers to tell the joke. They're going to have some comedians, and that'll be nice. They're
Yeah.
going to have some legit musical artists, and that'll be nice. But
Right,
no, I don't
we've
expect much
we've
from the
seen
DNC.
conservative
unless of course they do. If they do the right thing, then they're going to have to scrap the entire schedule for the DNC.
Yeah.
Right. It could be
Because they're going to have an brokered convention, and they're going to spend their entire time tallying votes and having interviews and speeches and so forth to have a
Yeah.
candidate selected. Wouldn't that be amazing? That would be so exciting. That would unite the left. Like, whether
Yeah.
you like it or not, whether or not it's justified, just from a political marketing perspective, that would bring people who hate the GOP together.
Yeah,
That
I'd
would-
be,
it
at
would
the,
be-
I'd be,
It could
I'd
be
be on the
such a
edge of my
show
seat.
for the country. It could
You said, Brad?
captivate everyone.
Yes.
It could be such
no, the media
such a
frenzy,
high
man.
ratings
Work
kinda- yeah,
the media.
exactly.
Work the media. If you're not working the media,
For
the
real.
media is working you. It's
Yeah.
the same thing like the corridor. If you're not working the corridor as a politician, then the corridor is working you.
Yeah, and that's
This
the
whole
They would
difference.
eat that
idea
up.
we-
That's
What's
the
that?
difference,
What's that,
really.
Brad? All right, cool.
No,
Back to it.
well, that's
Go.
the difference. I actually
Go ahead.
wanted to point out real quick because, like, working the
Yeah.
media, like, the Democrats really have like a big opportunity here because if you've been watching this past few days, and I sure fucking haven't, it's mostly a snooze fest. You can
Yeah.
see a picture of Trump like actually fucking falling asleep, or what appears to be him falling asleep. Like if like this isn't really working the media at all. If the Democratic convention is brokered or open, and it's edge of your seat excitement, that is going to get media attention, and that is going to put a lot more focus on the Democrats, and that's kind of the boost that they would need. So it could be, it could be very well exciting.
They would never allow that, though.
This was-
That goes against everything that they've ever.
Of course,
You know,
they're too obsessed with civility and shit.
Desperate
had
times call for
inside them.
desperate measures, man. Desperate times
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
for desperate measures.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and they
Well,
have been known.
we're getting
They have been known.
worked.
Yeah, they have been known to be very last minute in their efforts when it comes to shit to begin with. So we'll see.
Dude, let's
Yeah.
face it. The Dems are lazy compared
Yeah.
to the Republicans. The Republicans outwork you.
Yeah,
Like, if you look back at this, I'm serious. They have an
Yeah.
intensity that they do what they are told to do. There isn't like talk about. It's actually when the lack of creativity is a good thing.
yeah,
We just need soldiers in the army. That's what
Exactly.
a lot of these volunteers, these political volunteers
Yeah.
and political agents, that's what they are in the Republican Party. Democrats, it's obviously a lot different. In Democrats, it's about everybody having a voice and so forth. Well, the Republicans, that's not the way it works.
The story, if I may. I'm, of course, married to the daughter of South Asian immigrants to this country. Incredible people. People who genuinely have enriched this country in so many ways. And, of course, I'm biased because I love my wife and her family, but it's true. Now, when I proposed to my wife, we were in law school, and I said, honey, I come with $120,000 worth of law school debt and a cemetery plot on a mountainside in eastern Kentucky.
So touching.
And I guess standing here tonight, it's just gotten weirder and weirder, honey. But that's what she was getting. Now, that cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky is near my family's ancestral home. And like a lot of people, we came from the mountains of Appalachia into the factories of Ohio, Pennsylvania, Michigan, and Wisconsin.
Is this a Kentucky wasp then? So I might be related to this asshole.
Oh God, dude.
Now, that's Kentucky coal country, one of the 10.
Western
Now-
Kentucky is actually pretty beautiful. It's not the best weather, but it's actually really green. It's a lot like Iowa.
Yeah.
It's one of the 10 poorest counties in the entire United States of America. They're very hardworking people, and they're very good people. They're the kind of people who would give you the shirt off their back even if they can't afford enough to eat. And our media calls them privileged and looks down on them. But they love this country, not only because it's a good idea, but because in their bones they know that this is their home, and it will be their children's home, and they would die fighting to protect it.
Stakes, ratchet up those stakes, man.
That is the source of America's greatness. As a United States Senator, I get to represent millions of people in the great state of Ohio with similar stories, and it is the great honor of my life. Now, in that cemetery, there are people who were born around the time of the Civil War. And if, as I hope, my wife and I are eventually laid to rest there, and our kids follow us, there will be 7 generations just in that small mountain cemetery plot in eastern Kentucky. 7 generations of people who have fought for this country, who have built this country, who have made things in this country, and who would fight and die to protect this country if they were asked to.
Not like the immigrants.
You know, it seems weird because one of the fun facts about the Civil War, which he now seems to be invoking in that last statement, is that both Jefferson Davis and Abraham Lincoln were born in Kentucky. And that's one of, you know, like in the Ken Burns documentary,
Right.
they always make a big deal about that it's Kentucky that's some sort of core of American
It is. It's a weird place.
fighting,
Yeah.
you know, the spirit. And it seems like he's trying to invoke that, maybe, or maybe I'm just too Ken Burns head.
I think the
headed
most
for-
important thing is that it's a deep-rooted Southern family is the point. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the anchor to windward, so to speak, for the GOP is the Southern white trash conservative. And this guy is a Southern white trash conservative who went to Yale. That's who this
Yeah.
guy is.
But it's weird. He's a senator from Ohio being like, my heart and soul is with Kentucky, and it's like, well, okay, well, you're a senator from a different state.
Right.
It's like when we had Mitt Romney as governor of Massachusetts,
Right,
and he was
he's
like,
from
my heart
Utah.
and soul is with the Mormons of Utah.
Yeah.
That's why I need to be here in Boston governing the Massachusetts healthcare
Well, it's a
reform.
Yeah,
st-
make
And
it
we
make
were like,
sense.
we were like, what the hell?
Yeah, well, it's a statement. It's a statement as to the quality of his network. He was
Yeah.
a very well-respected agent in corporate America and Boston
Yeah.
in particular. So it'll show you how far your network will go. And keeping your nose clean. Those Mormons, they don't get into trouble. You know,
Right.
they don't drink, they don't smoke, they don't, what's it called, philander. They don't do any of that shit.
They just eat hot dogs and
Now,
pray.
I
now,
don't
that's
know,
not
I don't know
just
what
an
they
idea,
do, but
my
they don't do the
friends.
bad
That's
stuff.
not just a set of principles. Even though the ideas and the principles are great, that is a homeland. That is our homeland. People will not fight for abstractions, but they will fight for their home. And if this movement of ours is going to succeed,
There you
and
go,
if this
Brad.
country is going to thrive, our leaders have to
Yeah.
remember that
That's a
America
shot
is
to
nation
Vivek.
and its
Yep,
citizens deserve
yep.
leaders who put its interests first. To remember
You know what it is a generational thing, and both of them see themselves as like the next face of the party for the generation. But Vivek, if you are listening and you think you have any chance of being considered one of them, dude, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Maybe if you were a woman and attached to some guy like JD's wife is, but you know, dude, you look like a terrorist to them. Okay,
Yeah.
you look like a terrorist
Like,
to them.
yeah,
Sorry.
I mean, I've come across Republicans that
Well,
are
you know,
actually
frankly, the
a fan.
Dems call him a terrorist too. So you know, it kind of it's all
in
the
a
way
different
around.
way, yeah. Like I've come across Republicans that actually do like Vivek, but like I broke it
but
to
the
him. It's
California
like, dude,
conservatives,
It's like, yeah,
they're
it's like,
California
dude,
conservatives.
Like he's Indian, and Republicans would never vote for an Indian, and have like openly stated that they would not vote for an Indian guy. Like, and
Well,
culture
no,
told him
it's
to his
religious.
face too. Yeah,
It
no,
was,
no, of course, and the fact,
no,
no,
it
the
was
fact that he
Hindu.
is,
Hindu.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah,
The
it's
fact
Hindu.
that, yep.
They would say they would never vote for a Hindu who's got to be a
That's-
Christian, and
yep,
that's why Nikki
yep.
Haley, who's half Indian, works because she's a converted Christian.
Yep.
So, if you convert, that's actually a bonus points. If you got that's a lot of Christian credibility. If you're
Right,
a
that
convert.
that is like the biggest litmus test. Like number one, are you Christian? If not, it's a non-starter if you're a Republican.
Yeah,
fan.
no, I think I think Republicans could put a minority in the White House someday if, as long as that minority is a Christian.
Yes.
You know, the evangelicals can be sold. At this point, they've changed. They all they care again. All they care about is winning. They're
Yeah.
not complicated. They're not complicated.
Yeah.
America is a nation and its citizens deserve
Especially at
leaders
this
who
point.
put its interests first.
America first. Oh, haven't heard that in a couple minutes.
Yeah.
They have like
Now, we won't
certain
agree on every
words
issue, of
that
course,
they have
not
to
even in this room.
reuse every like
We
30,
may
40
disagree from time
seconds.
to time about how best to reinvigorate American
Yeah.
industry and renew American
They're the
family. That's
hammer, we're
fine.
the
In fact,
nails.
it's more than
Family.
fine.
There's
It's
another
good.
one.
But
Family.
never forget that the reason why this united Republican Party exists, why we do this, why we care about those great ideas and that great history, is that we want this nation to thrive for centuries to come. Now, eventually in that mountain cemetery, my children will lay me to rest. And when they do, I would like them to know that thanks
Notice how much they think about death.
Yeah. Well, they're a
They
death
think
cult.
about death a lot.
Literal death
They
cult.
think about death a lot. No, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about like the
Yeah.
psychology
Uh,
of conservatism.
That's actually one of Biden's coolest things is that he hasn't thought about death one time in his life. He's just he's planning to live forever.
Right. Yep.
He's death.
So true.
Death does not
So
concern
true.
him. He's just he's
Yeah.
in this. He's in this
Yeah.
to the end, and then whatever happens after that is really not important.
Literally.
Whereas for JD, that's his starting point.
Yep.
thanks to the work of this Republican Party, the United States of America, and as strong and as proud and as great as ever.
Yeah, because you guys haven't really been around, like, in power.
That is who we serve, my friends. That is who we fight for. And the only thing that we need to do right now, the most important thing that we can do for those people, for that American nation that we all love, is to re-elect Donald J. Trump, President of the United States.
No thanks. Hard pass.
Puts his hands to his chest. He's been coached. That was the big coach. That was worth $50,000 right there.
Mr. President, I will never take for granted the trust you have put in me. And what an honor it is to help achieve the extraordinary vision that you have for this country. Now, I pledge to every American, no matter your party, I will give you everything I have to serve you and to make this country a place where every dream you have for yourself, your family, and your country will be possible once again.
I can only imagine how bored out of his mind Trump actually is, though.
No,
And
he
I
doesn't
promise
want
you
to
one
be
more
there.
thing. To the people of Middletown, Ohio, and
I think
all
he
the
hates
forgotten
this shit.
communities in Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, and Ohio, and every corner of our nation. I promise you this: I will be a vice president who never forgets where he came from.
Because that's what matters most. It's not about what you can do. It's not about what you think. It's not about your other ways of contributing to
What you can
society.
change.
It's about where you come from. And if you don't come from here and you're not Western European, then we don't like you. Or you're not like a wealthy Asian, or that happens.
Yeah.
But oh God.
And every single day for the next 4 years, when I walk into that White House to help President Trump, I will be doing it for you, for your family, for your future,
Family
and
again.
for this great country. Thank you. God bless all of you, and God bless our great country.
God bless the United States of America. He fucked up the ending line. Did you hear that?
Family, for your future, and for this great country. Thank you. God bless all of
Yeah,
you, and
dude.
God bless our
Come
great
on,
country.
man. You got to get it right. You got to get it right there at the end, man. What a loser.
Wait, it sounded like he said, "God bless our country."
He did. That's what I'm saying.
Is
That's
that
what
wrong?
I'm saying.
He should have said,
No,
"God
you're
bless
supposed
the
to-
United States
of
of
America. Yeah.
What
Everybody knows
difference
that.
does it
For
make?
your family, for your
It's
future,
a punk.
for the next
It's
4 years.
It's just a coaching thing. Like this
Okay,
guy's
yeah.
not a this guy's not a very good public speaker. I mean, this is 101. Listen to this.
When I walk into that White House to help President Trump, I will be doing it for you, for your family, for your future, and for this great country. Thank you. God bless all of you, and God bless our great country.
Yeah, he said country.
It's not the way it's
That's he said country twice, and that yeah, I see where you're coming from. It is more of like
It's weak. It's weak.
Yeah,
It's weak. It's
Yeah.
just not as strong as it could be.
a little forced at the end. Either way, I mean, this guy, like when it comes to the Democrats, they're definitely going to be pointing out a whole lot about like how this guy flipped on a dime, how he was a never Trump Republican at first, and he said he wouldn't vote for him in a million years, and this and that, and it is a very odd pick from Trump overall. I'm not exactly sure. I think the only really like the biggest reasons why he picked him is because he said openly that he would overturn the results of the election if it came down to it. Wouldn't actually like certify the results if they didn't go his way if election was held while he was in office. And the fact that like
But what does that mean? Like, how could he not? Trump will be a lame duck next time, so
Well,
that's irrelevant, right?
It would be, yeah. And of course, like I'm sure there's definitely more.
It doesn't
to it
matter.
as
That's
well.
way too
Like,
deep. That's way too deep. All that matters is that he came out and publicly said that if he had the power to influence the outcome
Yeah.
of the election controversy, he would have put it in the favor of Trump. That's all he had to say.
He would have done what
something to
Pence
that
didn't
effect.
do, basically. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Whereas, don't you think the real reason that Trump chose him is because he thinks that he's calculated that he'll play better electorally in like swing states like Wisconsin, Ohio, Michigan.
Yeah.
That Vance will somehow be more persuasive in like the blue. What did they call that? The blue
Yeah,
firewall or whatever.
Yeah, like the Rust Belt in general. That's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like-
the Rust Belt in general, but also like
It's called
the
the
blue
blue wall.
swing states.
Yeah.
The what?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, you can just name them: Pennsylvania, Michigan, Wisconsin. We've already done the analysis. Everybody agrees that.
Yeah, is it
Biden's
just
gonna have
those
to get all
three?
of those. Biden's gonna have to get all three of those in order to win because Trump's
Yeah.
probably gonna get Georgia, Trump's probably gonna get Arizona, and Trump's probably gonna get Nevada. So
And Vance is arguably the most attractive candidate for those particular states, right?
Yeah. The first.
I
The first one that we
suppose.
talked about. Yeah.
I suppose I thought maybe
maybe
he would go with
Massey
Tim
would
Scott.
like do better.
I thought maybe Trump would go with Tim Scott and make it like a bold choice and have it be a black guy from the South. But no, J.D. Vance, based on his speech, feels to me like a play to the same audience that Mike Pence had with the evangelicals. He's going after the younger evangelicals because he's already got the Mike Pence evangelicals in the bag.
Pretty
But
much,
now he's
yeah.
going
Vance
after anybody who's-
converted to Catholicism, which is like
Oh, is he?
if you're an
Are you sure?
evangelical,
Oh, he's a Catholic?
well,
mentioned
he's a
God a
Catholic
bunch in his-
convert, which is if you're an evangelical,
Weird.
that's like
Yeah, that's a sin.
that's pretty brutal
Yeah.
thing
Yeah,
to
well,
do.
they don't play that up. They keep that to themselves.
Yeah, yeah, and because like Trump already counts on the fact that he does have the evangelical vote, he realizes like like these swing states, they're basically like the only thing that matters. Like everything else is like pretty much on lock. So
Yeah.
I'm just focusing on like the Rust Belt states and whatnot, and like the swing states in general, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania, Michigan. And Ohio's already swinging his way, but if JD Vance like campaigns really hard for him in these states, like it does increase his chances a little bit, I guess. But we'll see. It's fucking
I think this is
scary-ass
just. I
times.
think the only thing. I think the only things that matter here are that first and foremost, what Stat Pat was alluding to, how he publicly came out and said he would have thrown the election towards Trump if he had had the opportunity. And then secondly is a showman issue where JD is in no way going to show up Trump. And those two criteria were met. They
Trump
don't really
loves
based on
someone who won't upstage him.
Yes.
Yeah, because I'm looking. You make a really good point, Brad. I had no idea he converted to Catholicism, and he's not. But they played it. They're going to play that down. They're not going to make that a big deal because the evangelicals will not like that.
Yeah.
But within the sort of alt-right spaces,
But it's not
that's
like
like
it
the
matters.
fashion that everyone's like converting to Catholicism or like getting
really?
hardcore into Catholicism. Yeah,
I didn't know
in
that.
terms of like
It's
neo-reactionary like circles. That's it's de rigueur to be like a hardcore Catholic weirdo for whatever reason.
For real, it is kind of like.
I only know that because I was raised Catholic and have fully renounced it.
Yeah, I don't blame you either. It
So
is.
I'm going in the opposite direction from these guys, but
Yeah,
But that's-
it also plays into the fact that like I mean, when you're in those kind of circles and like have that sort of thinking, it also plays into like an aesthetic issue, like you were talking about, like converting to Catholic. Like they don't put much thought into it really. Like it comes down to like it's just them. It's a weird little niche, like playing. It does play into the younger crowd for sure. So like in that aspect, I do think it is a savvy political move strategically.
In terms
from
of his
Trump.
options, in terms of who he had available, is probably his best choice. But it's not like it's not. It doesn't matter after the assassination attempt, like. Until
he could have
the
picked
DNC
anyone.
He could have picked anybody. I
Yeah,
mean, after the
literally.
assassination, like this race is over unless we get a substitution here.
Yeah.
This is like I'm
Yeah.
trying to think of a sports parallel where you can sub out it's a 1v1 competition. You can sub out your starting player or something. I don't
because
know.
there's no basketball rule that says you can't just have a golden retriever
Yeah.
as your forward.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Exactly.
What was that
Yeah.
movie?
Air butt.
Airbud.
Airbud. That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, basically.
And then there was the Michael J. Fox movie where he was the Wolfman that was really good at basketball.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
forget.
Yeah.
was one of
Was that
those. That's
Teen
what we need,
Wolf? Was
I
that
think
Teen
that
Wolf?
was actually yes, Teen Wolf.
Or-
that was a
okay.
metaphor for today's DNC because that's what we need. Is we need a freak show. That's what the left
Yeah.
needs, man. The left always needs a freak show. It's not a normal person on the left. On the right,
Well, there's
it's-
John Fetterman, and maybe the
That's
left doesn't
aesthetic.
want a
That's
freak show.
aesthetic. That's aesthetic. No, that's
Yeah.
aesthetic. I'm talking about someone who would rhetorically destroy Trump. I'm talking about like Gavin Newsom, except like actually as talented and skilled as everyone gives him
Someone
credit
who
for.
wouldn't let him get a word in edgewise and just call him out on like every single fucking line of bullshit that
have the
spills from his
stats
mouth.
and
Oh,
have the
yeah.
data, have
Yeah.
the data points.
Well, they had Tulsi Gabbard, but they drove her out of the party. She was a
Oh,
good
yeah.
killer,
I mean, she
killer
did-
of Dems.
I mean, she did that
She was
herself,
garbage.
honestly. Like,
Oh,
like
gosh, she
the
was
way that she's
garbage.
acting nowadays, like it shows me that she
What a
didn't really
narcissist.
like have any principles from the beginning, to begin with. And it's upsetting because
No, she's a media whore.
No, no, yeah, and like the fucking clips she's putting out nowadays, the DNC elites are the biggest threat to this country. It's just like shut the fuck up already. Like goddamn,
No, that's
like
true.
if she was smart, if she actually was like, I mean, because I could like after all like she flipped and whatnot. I thought she
Yeah.
would be like a careerist and like her star was rising with Fox News and whatnot. She went on Hannity pretty often. She went on Tucker Carlson. I figured like she would like just do a full 180 and go from like what she was like the head. She wasn't like the head of the DNC. I think she was like second in command.
She was like the
She was
vice chair of the DNC.
Yeah,
Yeah, she was.
yeah.
She was really high up.
Yeah,
And
crazy.
they had also like anointed her to be like a star of the DNC because they were like, oh, you're a Hawaiian woman of color,
Yeah.
veteran. You know,
Yeah.
they
Good
were
body.
really hyping her up so hard.
her
But-
her
but the-
story could have been
but-
like a complete shift to like, oh, look at what happened to me and the Democrats, and they won't accept me because of the way I think and whatnot. The Democratic elites are corrupt and whatnot, and this and that war intervention. She could have like taken that energy and momentum and just become a full on fucking Republican, and like maybe even have fucking like ran for president even. Cause I'm surprised I didn't like end up seeing her in the Republican primaries. I thought that would have been like the logical choice given her trajectory at the time.
Yeah, and maybe we will see that.
We'll see. Lots of stuff up.
I don't know,
in the air
Brad.
right now.
Brad, let's get your weigh in on whether or not you think we're gonna. What's the odds we'll see a brokered convention or an open convention? It's not a brokered. Hopefully, not a brokered convention.
Oh,
Well, I guess an open
well-
an open convention becomes a brokered convention at some point.
It seems like every day there's more and more like high profile Dems
Yeah.
coming out being like Biden must go,
Yeah.
and he already lost like the elite
Hollywood.
media and Hollywood, and
Yep.
without that, I don't really know what like how he can. I can't visualize how he can like recover from that.
Yeah,
He's but he's trying to. He's like he's sort of offered an argument that you know the media sucks and that Hollywood sucks, which like of course plays to like the Trumpian audience, but
Yeah.
is like it's kind of too late for him to make that case after basking in all of their favor for like what 80,000 years so far.
Yeah. Oh, I think I'm losing you guys. Everything just froze.
Chance.
So the question after the shooting, everyone was like under this argument by assumption that, oh, well, this is going to make all the momentum for replacing Biden dissipate because everyone's going to be so focused on the convention. Here's the thing. In order for this to actually happen, think about the way it would have to play out. It would have to be right before the convention starts. You can't have the media be saturated by who the replacement's going to be until the last minute. And you definitely don't want it overhanging the RNC convention. You want the RNC to have their time. They're going to have July. All right. And then in August, it'll, you know, the questions will keep swirling. And hopefully they open it up in like, you know, beginning of August, they'll announce it, something like that. And then, you know, then I hope they get creative. Look, so the how, the other level of how is who gets Biden to drop out, who talks him into it. And that's where I did my video. I did a short that did pretty well on this. Maybe you saw it. The only person that can talk him into dropping out is Obama. It's the guy who put him there.
Yeah.
And so I think Obama really needs to step up. This is where
The rumors are that there's now a huge schism between the Obama camp and the Biden camp. But you know, there's a million rumors. Like who actually knows what's happening behind the scenes? I would love to know like who's actually running the country because everything is fully delegated away from Biden at this point. Clearly,
Yeah.
yeah,
you know?
so White House chief of staff who's worth like $300
Yeah,
million or
Klein?
something like that. Yeah, yeah. Jeff Zients.
Yeah, Zients is the actual
Zients.
president.
No, he's the chief of staff. Is Zients? Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Oh,
he's
yeah.
he's
No,
the
you're
one
saying
actually
he's
running.
effectively.
Yeah, who's
right now?
who's effectively the. Yeah.
Jeff Zients. Here, I'll share his. This is what he looks like. Nobody. Who knows who this guy is? Who in America knows who this guy is? Nobody.
No
People knew
clue.
who Trump's chief of staff was. Nobody knows who this guy was.
Yeah.
31st White House chief of staff. That's it. 30. There's only been 31 White House chiefs of staff. That's it. Weird. Okay, so Brad, odds. What do you think it's going to be an open convention? I say 50-50. I say 50-50 right now.
What
Yeah.
if they if
Maybe
they decide
55, I'll say 55-45 in favor of an open convention. 51, no, because we live in a 51-49 country. So 51-49 in favor of it actually happening.
Yeah.
yeah, the coin flip seems right, but the Dems hate openness. So what if they decide that it's going to be Kamala? The way to do it would not be to have an open convention. It would be for Biden to resign basically like immediately, which he should do anyway. And then Kamala could run as an incumbent
Right.
against Trump.
Yeah,
and
that's
she could
what I
then
thought.
choose a VP in a backroom Democratic choice.
Convention,
And
right,
it
yeah.
would not be exposed to an open convention, which Dems just are constitutionally kind of incapable of
So-
handling. Like it would be
so-
too much of a shit show for their whole countenance, you know?
Yes. So
And
Hey.
that would be a smooth handoff, right?
yeah, that would. I mean, so that would mean that would require the convention giving it to Biden and saying that he's the nominee, and then he
Yes.
resigns and
Oh.
gives it, and hands it over to Kamala. Unless
He
like-
could not do that before the convention.
I mean, I'm sure he could. As
No, he can
then-
resign
then-
whenever
then
he
it-
wants.
Then it just wouldn't be.
He
then
can
it just wouldn't
resign
be an
whenever he
open-
wants.
And then
it
she would
would
be
an
the
open
incumbent.
convention.
Brad saying
Yeah.
Brad saying she should resign, or he should resign now so that she can become the president officially. And
Yeah.
now she's an incumbent. She has the media time. It's a great way to
Yes,
swipe
as an
away
incumbent,
all of the media.
It's way more advantageous than a VP,
Yes.
and that is what they
Yeah.
would do if they have already internally
Think they
decided
really
that it
want
must
Kamala,
be
though?
Kamala.
There
you know?
you go. But that's
No,
your premise.
maybe they don't. Maybe they
That's your
absolutely
premise, yeah.
don't want her, and so they can't do that either. So
Don't
they
you
have
think they
to.
want Gavin? Don't you think a majority of the party wants Gavin,
And
Uh,
this is like the actual
or at least
dilemma, though,
at least
is
a
because-
plurality?
Or
Like,
at least
a
they don't
plurality.
want Kamala. That's for sure.
Yeah,
No, they
but the
hate
thing
her.
Is, I mean, like, and that's understandable as well. It's like, but because of that, because all the money is already underneath, like the Biden-Harris ticket, she would be the one to receive the funds. Like,
Yeah,
otherwise
so
you have
that's
to start
actually a
entirely
loophole, though.
from scratch.
So that's actually might not be true. So if they go to the convention with the money, and then they
They could just hand it
reorganize
off
the
to-
ticket at the convention, then the money goes with the new ticket.
Right.
I think that's what a lot of that's what some lawyers have I've heard about, I've read about talking about it, but
Yeah.
you know,
this is
who
something
the
I'll have to
fuck
look.
knows?
I'll have to look into this definitely. Like,
I
within
mean,
the next
do you
week.
know how much fundraising they would do off of an open convention or after
Yeah.
they announce? They would make so much money. The free media coverage that they would get through that process. And this is when Obama steps up. Obama writes the rules. Come on, dude, you're a constitutional lawyer.
Yeah.
You're a constitutional lawyer. So
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
see what you got. Write
And-
the rules. Do the whole thing.
Yeah.
And Biden, in his we're sticking with me speech, said that his war chest already contains $200 million, which means that he at least has $50 million in there.
Yeah.
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 He's got, I think, 93. I think Biden Harris has $93 million in the war chest.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that's
when you add to
That's
the
not
equation,
actually. That's a lot, but it's not like an amazing number.
Yeah,
this point.
well, adding to the equation, Adam Schiff coming out and saying that Biden has to step down, you gotta
Right.
imagine
That's
like,
huge,
like,
right?
Big
huge.
time.
what do you think triggered that? Because Schiff, he
Sense.
kept his
Common
mouth
sense.
shut for
I
2
think
weeks or whatever.
Because he
He's
knows
starting
he's
to see
gonna
the
win.
he's starting to see the writing on the wall, and the fact that it's going to
Uh-huh.
affect down ballot tickets, and
Yeah,
whatnot.
he could be
That might
vulnerable.
Yeah,
There's a lot
Yeah,
of people
no,
that
you're
don't
right.
like Adam
I think
Schiff.
it's the down ballot stuff that
Yeah.
he's flipping about because he's always been managing the down ballot
Right.
that whole roster. So
It-
now he's just shitting his pants.
It tells me as well that a lot of the party insiders are also like commingling and co-conspiring and trying to just figure out like an actual game plan and just actually come together and be like, what's the best path forward? Because clearly Biden is a gigantic vulnerability and he needs to be convinced to step down himself. Otherwise, it's all for naught because it is up to him ultimately. And on top of that, he just caught COVID, so like maybe he because I think he
Yeah,
just
there
had
you go,
like
Brad.
he just had an interview with BET, I believe, yesterday, and said I think he even like stated himself like if like maybe if I come down he might have been I haven't actually seen it, but I think he was asked like what would it take for you to step down, and I think he even like mentioned like specifically if he came down with a sickness of sort that like hampered his ability to campaign, that he would consider it. So like maybe this is another like blessing in disguise as well if it turns out to like be worse than it currently is, because they said that he's experiencing mild COVID symptoms, but who knows? Like me and Dieter have been talking like the past few weeks, like since the fucking horrendous debate he had. Like there's just so many things up in the air. Like everything is a coin flip, and it's so complex because of like
Yeah.
it like if one thing happens, then the whole complex array of things are possible. So
Yeah, that's so crazy to think that COVID could begin and end his presidential campaign
For real,
prospect.
like yeah.
That's so weird.
When you put it like that, yeah, we'll see. Honestly, who knows? But it's still just so gripping, isn't it? God.
I
There
think
is.
it's going to snowball. I think it has nowhere to go but up. I
Yeah.
mean, Trump's going to crush her in the polls. It's historic that if your approval numbers are this bad, that you lose.
Yeah,
If you're the president, if you're the incumbent president, and your approval numbers look like this, 58 disapprove, 40 approve,
yeah,
you're underwater by 18 points, or according to another poll,
yeah.
taken at the exact same time, you're underwater by 22, split the difference, you're underwater by 20 on the approval polls. You don't win re-election. You get fucking booted.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, exactly.
Harris is underwater by 12. She's underwater by 12 in her
Yep.
approvals.
Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if there's anything for president general election. But I want to see if I think there's a Harris poll here. Yeah, Harris 44, Trump 44, but that's only a 992 sample size.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty even. But that's a general, again, that's the national poll. Who cares? The only thing that
Yeah,
matters is the Rust Belt states.
Yeah, I'm curious if polls of had been conducted in the battleground states between Harris and Trump. If those
Here's the most
actually
recent
exist.
one. Was July 11th through 12 was the most recent one. Biden's up 1 in Wisconsin, but it was only a 653 voters sample
Right.
size.
And then a week
So-
before that was a
Yeah.
poll of
It's
Harris.
close.
Yeah.
Wisconsin's close. Wisconsin's close. That's what's important about Wisconsin. Wisconsin's close, and Michigan is also close, even closer, according
Yeah.
to
They're rocking out in
algorithm.
Milwaukee.
Yeah, I know. And then, but the big one that's going to be really going to be the focus of Joe Biden's campaign, and if he can't get this state under wraps, this is Pennsylvania. He's down by 2.7 according to the algorithm, according to the averages. And lately, let's see, the 11th was 6 days ago. He was down by 3 consistently, down by 2, 3, 4, and 5 consistently after those latest polls.
Yeah.
I mean, how is
brutal.
Biden lose? It's brutal
yeah.
in that state. He's gonna have to spend. They're basically gonna take all that money if they stick with Biden and spend it in just those 3 states.
Yeah. I mean,
That's
that's you're gonna have to, like, honestly, like.
Yeah.
There's going to have to be some other event. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, no,
Stat Pat.
no, they're the only ones that matter at this point. Like, if like they're the most like essential, like in terms of reward. Like he needs to win these states. Like so, like why not just flood the airwaves? And of course, don't stick with the same ads. Like spend money on multiple different ads with different
but
attack points and
that's-
whatnot. Or
Nothing's
or
gonna change it,
just
man.
like on the ground, like canvassing, whatever you have to do, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's Philly, it's Pittsburgh, it's Detroit,
Yeah,
it's Milwaukee.
it's
Those are the major.
it's
It's
about
those the suburbs of those cities, basically.
if anything, like excite the non-voters or the unlikely voters. Like
Yeah, but
they-
how, Stat Pat?
Yeah.
Like, how are they gonna do it? How are they gonna do it? They can't. They have no artillery. They're
Right.
They're
done.
like just hang on and hope that some shocking or fantastical other event happens, as
Yeah.
they have been happening throughout this cycle, and just
a
cross your fingers and hope that
it would
somehow
have to be
throws things your way.
It would have to be a huge focus on the implications of a Trump presidency. And of course, ride the wave off of the fact that Roe v. Wade was overturned, the fact that Project 2025 is just on the horizon, the fact that if Trump gets in again, there's really nothing stopping him from leaving because of the SCOTUS decision on presidential immunity. Like just raise the stakes, and
Too much.
that might.
I think
sure,
abortion. I think. Yeah, I think abortion's is the big issue that you could just lean on.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought if you're gonna get Biden out and have Kamala be the automatic one, I think the best VP pick would be Gretchen Whitmer, and just make this election all about women. Now, I
Yeah.
brought that up in a forum not too long ago with some fans of another YouTube channel, and they were like, "Oh no, they never go for it. It's too singular. It's not inclusive enough." You know, the straight white man, or even like other people will complain.
Women make
And
up
I'm
half
like,
the country.
I mean, what do you, like? I think we men are willing to bow out from the spotlight for 4 years, at least. You know, for the sake of beating Trump. I think that's a sacrifice educated men are willing to make.
Yeah, yeah. Like keynote there. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but
Or just
the
sensible
all-women
and
ticket is
empathetic, I should say.
certainly doomed in American electoral politics. They would just shoot those ladies down, don't you think? Like,
They'd get elected.
It's not that we wouldn't step aside. It's that, like, the voters would just just hand it over to the boys' team rather than the girls' team. It's like
It's possible.
I don't know. I don't know,
it
man. I
depends.
think it'd be an exciting pick. You'd get record turnout from young women, and then you would get Taylor Swift to get up and say, "Hey, all of my fans out there, get your boyfriends to vote." And then then you win the election. No one has a pop culture like ours. Our
I
culture
know.
wars
But
in this country are
imagine
different.
getting the party of Biden right now to somehow coalesce around like something that Taylor Swift would galvanize people for. It seems like
maybe not the
we'd have
base.
to.
I'm just saying,
But,
my
like,
ideas
maybe,
are
like,
always way
unlike-
too.
unlike
My
the
ideas are
voters.
always way too out of the box and creative for the DNC, and it's really a shame because
And that's the
really like
fundamental
that's
issue, yeah.
in terms of the split in the brain, that where you go left or you go right. Well, what you leave behind when you go right is any chance at authentic creativity. Because creativity is the domain of empathy, as I've talked about in my scripted episodes. And the left does not recognize that that's our advantage.
Yeah.
It's like playing a sport or a team sport when you're the faster team and instead playing like you're the bigger team and having that strategy. It's like the wrong
it's like
strategy
they
for
all
the
wish-
talent.
They all wish they were just Republicans, and
Right.
they're just ashamed that they're not for the time being.
Yeah. God. Right.
Something like that.
Why
I
do-
mean, they
why
wish
do
they
they
had the
do that?
simplicity. They wish they had the simplicity of the Republican electorate. I can tell you that much. They are very jealous
seriously.
of the of how simple-minded the Republican base is.
Just
Anyway, we're at
in
2.5
lockstep.
hours.
Yeah.
We're at 2.5 hours. We've been going for a while. Brad, do you want to stick around? I think we're probably going to wrap it up soon.
Oh no!
Unless-
Pull the plug. That was great to watch the RNC with you guys. I come for
Yeah,
Dieter.
yeah.
I stay for Stateless Patriot. You guys, I'll continue to be your one fan. So thanks for having me on. And
Don't give
catch you
Stat Pat a
soon.
lot more.
Yeah.
Give Stat Pat a lot more credit because he's actually got. I think he had 8 or 9 people in the chat.
Very briefly,
one point?
yeah, it dropped off pretty quickly, but I did peak at that point. But yeah.
Now for the
yeah.
fun part, Brad, is I get to download this, then put it into Final Cut Pro and cut it
Yeah.
up into a video. Doesn't that
Oh,
sound
yeah.
fun?
Oh,
Oh,
you're
yeah.
telling me. Oh my god, yes.
you should,
process in general.
Yeah,
I need a
definitely
producer, dude. I need a producer big time.
turn that into some fire clips. That would be awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
do, man. That's I have to. That's how I'm getting subscribers. Is I do the live stream, cut the live stream into a video, and then cut the video into shorts. And the shorts are the ones that.
So
actually
do you
get
just sit there for like 2 hours slogging through it, or I guess you fast
No.
forward?
I take a break. Yeah, I know where the stuff is. I kind of remember what we talked about. I might sleep on it. Sometimes I sleep on it. Sometimes I don't. With 2.5 hours, I'm probably gonna sleep on it.
You know how to target the good bits, and then you just
Yeah.
go for that.
Big time.
Okay.
Yeah, pretty much.
I've done the same with
Nice.
past streams as well. It's tedious, but it's worth it when you like sift through it. When it's like, oh
Yeah.
yeah, that was a good little segment.
And
Like,
now,
yeah.
because I've done it all the way through to cut it to shorts, so I know how to cut the video that'll set it up well to cut it for shorts. So here we are. Marshall McLuhan, the medium is the message. Creativity's best
Yeah.
friend is limitations. So just by going through that creative process, I figured out how, even like when we communicate too, we like try to speak so that it ends up becoming like editable, edit-friendly monologues.
Yeah,
because that's
yeah.
what works well on the thing.
It's
Oh, you
taking a
already
little
have
bit
that
of
in
time.
mind when you're chatting.
Yes,
It's
yeah.
just become a product of conditioning. Yes.
Yeah. Just for the sake of content, and like we've done it long enough to this up to this point to where it's becoming a lot more natural, and like we acknowledge it. So it's just like the focus is there to like make it adaptable for not only shorts but like you said, fire segments.
All right,
Yeah.
Brad. Yo,
Nice.
great having you, man. Please
Yeah,
come back
thank
soon.
you
All
so
right,
much
we'll
for
have
coming
you.
in,
Maybe
dude.
we'll have you again soon.
Yes. Nice McBusiness, guys.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, yo,
Hell
take
yeah.
it easy.
Have a good one. Yeah. Cool guy.
All right, well, that was fun. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
dude, Brad's great. I go back to 12 years old, 13 years old with him.
Oh
So,
wow.
long
Nice.
time. Yeah,
That-
long
that-
time.
Yeah,
Yep,
that
I've known him for a
that's
long
hella
time.
cool. Yeah, no, I'm just glad that
he's a
like
good dude.
once I got back, because I had to like make a new stream and whatnot. But God, that was so frustrating. It just tells me I really need like a computer with better processing power. I've had the same computer for like 5+ years, so like.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I'm ready to pull the trigger on one. Even if it means like having them chill
You have to
out,
finance
fucking
it.
like, yeah, like even though I'm likely gonna have a fucking high interest.
Best
rate
Buy
for
will do
like,
it. Just do it.
Oh,
You
yeah.
could do Best Buy,
No.
and they do like a 0% interest for like a year or something.
Yeah,
That's something like that. You can do promos like that.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna have to look into that. Like, even if it's not like a top of the line one like I've been looking for, just something that can process a whole lot better than this one. But yeah, no, that was fun. That was really good.
Can you do tomorrow night?
I have work, unfortunately. I won't be able to do it again until Monday.
All right, I'm gonna see if I can find someone to live stream with me tomorrow night for Trump's speech, because that was really fun. That's a good source of content. Maybe I need to edit this tonight. Brutal. All right. Anyway, parting thoughts from me. I don't have any party thoughts. I'm exhausted. I'm good. We'll just remind you to go ahead, Stat Pad. You got the last word.
I mean, the only thing really comes to mind is fuck the Republicans.
Yeah, fuck JD Vance, fuck them all, dude. It's the
Yeah.
same talking points recycled over
Clown
and
show.
over. It's like
Literally.
it's boring to analyze
Yeah.
because it's
That's
the same
that's the
formula.
Worst. That's the worst.
Like it's
of
the
it.
same 5 talking points over and over again.
Literally,
So
like I'm tired of it. Yeah. Yeah.
So the art of commentary here is offering insight to what a lot of our viewers already see.
Yeah.
But what I try to offer is like, why are there so many people in the audience? Who are these people? Who is MAGA? Where do they come from? Where do these traditions come from? And I believe that they date all the way back to the WASP. I
Yeah.
believe that's the foundational
Yeah.
culture of American
Yeah.
conservatism. But I'm biased. I'm biased because I want everything to be about me. All right, for Stateless Patriots, Stat Pat. I am Dieter McBusiness, and we are reminding you to know the heart, but vote with the head, because you don't get change in America by asking nicely.
Have a good night, guys.
All right. So, it went well. Good. All right, man. That was fun. That was fun. All right. Well, I guess I'll
There
see
we
you
go.
Monday then.
Yeah, no, that was a blast. I will, I'm almost certain I'm available Monday, so yeah, I will definitely see you then.
All right. Let me just. Yeah, it's fine. Yeah, we'll be in touch over text.
For
All right.
sure.
I'll let you go.
All right, have a good
All
night,
right.
dude.
Bye bye. Bye, man. See ya.